Okay, got the drums and bass programmed in here. The bass line will stay the same throughout. The bass is there to help you lock in to this polyrhythm a little more easily, hopefully. The drums, you got 2 bars establishing what the rhythm is. And basically, when the snare hits, that's when you're going to be picking. You have the kick drum for the downbeat, so that's when you want to be tapping your foot, or need to be tapping your foot, because if you're not doing that, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to have a hard time getting this. So it's definitely a necessity. And then there's a hi-hat being played on all the 16th notes, but on the downbeats, you're going to have an open hi-hat and then 3 closed hi-hats. So you got this kind of sound. And then as the drums progress, more of the drums begin to be taken out. And then by the end, it's just the kick, snare, and the hi-hat for like the last part. So much more like a standard metronome. So you got the help of the drums at the beginning to help you lock into the feel of how the rhythm's supposed to go and to sound. And then it gradually gets stripped away until it's just downbeats. The bass stays there to help you hear things still, along with the MIDI guitar. So best to practice this at least half the time with everything turned on. If things start to feel pretty okay, you might want to go between, let's say, perhaps, muting the MIDI guitar and then maybe turning the bass on and off. Like you try it at a speed with the bass on to make sure you feel exactly where everything's supposed to go. Because the bass is playing every single time you're playing. The bass always stays with that polyrhythm. But then you can take that bass out and see, does it still feel just as solid when you take that out? You can have the Guitar Pro's metronome on or off. Benefit to having it off, well, it sounds more musical because you're just listening to the drums and the bass and all that. Benefits to having it on, it might make it easier to transfer to just the metronome eventually. So you can try it without, see what helps you feel this out better. So I'm going to play along with it, starting at 60. I shouldn't have closed my eyes. I screwed up. Again at 80. 100. And one more at 120. Okay. So reminder, whoop, actually put the speed back to where it was. Save that. Okay. So reminder number 2. So you did the 2 bars at a time yesterday. So the thing to continue doing, hold on. The thing to continue working on, yeah, this is 110 is just from the number that you gave me yesterday, so I wouldn't worry about the 110. Having a goal of 120 for all the individual stuff, that's a good idea though. So yeah, you're going to continue working on, I can't remember if you finished this much, but assuming you didn't, I think you did though. But anyway, so that'd be the next step. So you did, the 2 bars at a time. So the next thing to do would be 4 bars plus the very next note. So you want to work that up by itself, and then you're going to work up these bars by themselves, and then last you'll work up all that by itself. And then, try to get those up to the 120, those groups of 4 bars up to 120, and then piece it all back together and see how that goes. It should help. But there we go. That'll be it for the week. Troubleshooting. Polishing up the difficult. So yeah, any questions come up, let me know, and I will see you again next week.